What's the strangest thing you've heard someone say in their sleep? About 6 months into our marriage, my wife fell asleep while I was reading and I heard her say, "I think I'm pregnant." Which was frightening in a number of levels because 1, neither of us wander like kids, 2, because of a medical issue when she was a kid herself she can't get pregnant, and 3, she was out cold like a sleeping fucking coma. I asked her about it later, thinking like maybe it was a Freudian thing, her subconscious expressing some repressed desire for kids. She just looked at me like I was stupid. Who knows, when my parrot talks in his sleep, and says something in my brother-in-law's voice who has been dead for 20 years, hearing the voice of a dead person, coming from a dark room at 3 a.m., is very disconcerting. Bird also uses dead-in-law's voices at times, but it's Bill's voice which comes out in the middle of the night most often. The sentences aren't unusual, just simple: "What are you doing? Stop that comma," and the favorite, FCKU. My husband rarely says anything intelligible, but in 25 years of marriage there have been a few instances of him speaking clearly while sound asleep. Scary. He sat bolt upright in bed and pointed across the room and said, "Right there, that's where the body is." Then laid down and was snoring again in a minute. He and his crew had in fact discovered a body on a job site the day before. Funny. He sighed contentedly and said, "Tacos. We gotta go to the bean party." Bean party. It's only 6%. We gotta go pee in the port. 6 days, remember? Ha ha ha, yeah. All said in one night by my GF at the time. The last one scared the crap out of me. She burst out laughing so loud at like 4 a.m. My fiance recorded a full-on sleep conversation of me stating that we should abolish all the white people. I'm white, lol, sleep me wasn't though. This was when I worked graveyard shift. I regularly would have sleep conversations back then. I didn't hear it, but my aunt was babysitting me when Soulja Boy initially released his song. I apparently would just yell out the Soulja Boy up and hear "whoa" part out of the blue. Multiple times for a week. This was in a full scream shout. We were camping in Yellowstone when my brother and I were kids. My dad and uncle were telling bear stories one day. My brother pretty frequently talked in his sleep. Well, one night we woke up to my brother saying, "Run," feature agitated, "Run." Evidently I sat straight up one morning, looked my husband dead on and said, "Africa," and then went back to sleep. I have absolutely no idea what the hell that meant, but he replied, "Continent?" and went about his morning. Not so much strange as hilarious, but when we were first dating I heard my boyfriend utter marijuana in the most lovesick voice. Considering what a huge stoner he is, it's pretty on brand. My wife sleep talks a lot, so I have a notes list of all the things she says because if I don't write them down then I forget. The most recent: "I wanna go with you, honey buns and giggles." Guy on the bus: "I don't want to marry her, like I can get someone better." There was a woman sitting right next to him. Had to share a bed with a friend during our semester abroad in Cuba, and one night she sat up in bed and said, "Tell George Bush I'm coming for him." My GF said she had to keep refilling her fish bowl, which is in direct sunlight all day, with water because the fish kept drinking the water. I crashed in a buddy's camper about 10 years ago and heard him shoot snuggle bunnies at the top of his lungs in the middle of the night. I was at a friend's house for a few days and one night he had a wet dream. "I'm not gonna tell you what he said, but I think you can guess." During peak Fortnite times, my brother, who is a heavy sleeper, kept telling my dad, who was trying to wake him up, to build a wall XD. I like to call her Vanilla Vanny in my head place. She's so boring. My brother, who is now engaged to a girl named Vanessa, the monkey would be a donkey if he didn't have his comb. Old roommate of mine while we were in New Orleans for spring break. "I'm a fat old Jew from Brooklyn, leave me alone." The person was fat and Jewish, but not old or from Brooklyn. XBF: "I can't turn them on, I can't turn them on." He claimed he was dreaming about defective appliances. My ex-husband tried to sell me a phone in his sleep. He used to work at Radio Shack. Funniest shit ever. In my dorm, freshman year, my roommate's BF said, "Fuck me harder, daddy." Never told a goddamn soul. Coordinates that point to specific point in another galaxy. I don't know what it means. Don't say anything if the cupcakes look like tiny vaginas. Dash my wife, in her sleep, that my officer candidate husband couldn't march BC, he was wearing only underwear. Apparently, one night I said to my girlfriend, "Give me your teeth, I'll clean them." That would have to be the time my dad shouted, "Hey, motherfucker," in his sleep. Did Band find his keys okay? Band. Referencing Bandit, whom is a dog. Lol. My husband said, "Now what am I supposed to do with all these stupid monkeys?" "Mama, I got the fish." I went and got a single room in the dorm after that. The boats, we gotta get to the boats. Then she fell back asleep. The cheese is in my pocket. He in fact did not have cheese in his pocket. Didn't say it, but I feel that I cried in my sleep multiple times. Look! I know it's roadkill, but it's actually really good. My wife tried to sell me an insurance policy in her sleep. I once heard a donkey talking romantically about a dragon. 240 seashells. It has a meaning. Said by me in my sleep. The Pigeon Patrol police are coming. No idea.